everybody. It's me, Carmine DeStefano, the Bookman, here with my personal company, Rockasite, where we're going to take a little bit of an introductory tour through the magnificent, fantastical framework known as Laravel. Laravel is a PHP framework that is my favorite out of all the frameworks that I've used in every language because it makes things eloquent. And what eloquent means is easy, clean coding. It's a tremendous setup that I really wanted to get deeper into, but as of now, I was trying to study other things, and then I had a couple of issues and whatever, so I wanted to get this out quick so that I wouldn't leave this channel dormant and try to give you all an opportunity to see a really good framework, and we're going to do something really simple. Now, we'll do a little bit more intricate designs later on with Laravel when I get a little bit more comfortable with all the things that are available. I've used it a couple of times. It's not something that I've used in a while, so I had to get back into it. So that's one of the reasons why it was a sort of a last-ditch effort. I wanted to get another project started before the spring, and this one shouldn't take too long. And as you can see, what we're doing is we're doing a form, and we're going to call it, instead of form, we're going to call it FAQM, because FAQM. And basically, this is your landing page. We're going to allow non-authenticated users, like visitors or guests, to sort of take a look at what we're doing, and you can see like all the different posts and whatever. You can see all the different types of things we're going to be doing, and of course this is all going to be in JavaScript and real-time updates and everything like that. You can also have a sign-in, and when you sign in, then you'll be able to do certain aspects. And here's your dashboard. We're going to change this up a little bit though, and of course you have your profile, and you can go see your profile, your name and everything like that, your picture and all that when you joined. You can also edit your profile, which we'll do later. You can also go to forums. You can start a forum, which of course is in real time, so we'll say like where, and then we'll go like this, and then you can go to where, and you'll see that there's no discussion, so we'll start and we'll go whoa, and then we'll go like that, and then it posts, and then it shows. And if you want to reply, you can go, what the hell am I doing? And then, it replies, and so on and so forth. And when you go back, you'll see. So it's something very simple. It's nothing major. You just, again, to get our feet wet and everything like that. And of course, there's a logout. And then when you go to the front page, you'll see that that's there. And then you could just go like that. And, you could go back, and if you sign in to somebody else or yourself. So again, really not tremendously intricate or anything like that. It's just a simple forum, just something to do to get an introduction, because Laravel's got so much more happening. And again, I'm really looking forward to giving you something new, something different. And we'll go into all that stuff later on. As of now, let's just get our feet wet with it. So when you want to start a project, of course, you have to do the obvious. You have to download your XAMPP. You see right here. I'm not going to get into downloading everything again. I don't want to eat up the memory on my computer. So basically just go to XAMPP, or you can go to whatever one, LAMP, WAMP, whichever one you want. But if you go to one of these, just download Windows. I'm using Windows, or you can download one for Linux. You can download for Macintosh. And when you're done downloading that, I would suggest downloading, of course, a text editor. And we'll get into this in just a second. Downloading a text editor. I'm using Visual Studio Code. You don't have to use it. You can use PHP Storm, but that costs money. You can use whatever text editor. You can use Sublime. You can use Notepad. It doesn't matter. As long as you have a text editor. I would suggest something with a terminal. Aptana has one that I used to use a lot that has a terminal that can also connect to your FTP, your file transfer protocol. So if you wanted to use that, you could. And then, of course, with Visual Studio Code, in order to make things easier, you can always download extensions, which I would download anything related to Laravel. If you see Laravel, Blade, snippets, whatever, I would just download, install everything. In fact, I'm going to install a couple more here. Anything that is related to Laravel, Blade formatter right here, like anything that's related to using Laravel, I would just install on Visual Studio Code if you have it. And then once that's all downloaded, what I would also suggest is to download a kind of like a C drive, you know how you have PowerShell in Windows. I would use myself, what I'm going to use is I'm going to use Git Bash, because you're going to need one, we're making our own virtual server. So you're going to need like a prompt, like a DOS prompt, to have that server run, and then if you have a terminal here in this project, you can then use this terminal to install or whatever it is you want to do. Now we're not going to install any kind of downloads from GitHub, whatever. We're going to basically put this whole thing by ourselves. So with the login and everything, we're going to do that by ourselves. With any kind of like, styling or whatever, we're going to do everything by ourselves. We're not going to do any kind of picture manipulation. We're just going to do a basic site. We're going to make it all our own. We're not going to use Bootstrap comes available with this, Vue comes available with this, Axios comes available. Not going to use any of that stuff. We're just going to do this from scratch. So when you want to create a Laravel project, the first thing you have to do is you have to go to your, after you've downloaded everything, your htdocs. And when you want to create a Laravel project, let me just double check. I have it right here. Right. So we're going to use Composer to do it. And we're going to go Composer, create project. And we're going to tell Composer what we want. We want Laravel, and we want Laravel 8.0 and up. And then we're going to call this FACM. So now this is going to install everything if it works on this one. I'm not sure if it will. Yeah, it won't work on this one. Okay, so we're going to do it on this one. So let's go to the terminal. And I got to go like this. Why don't you ever cooperate with me? So we'll go like that. Oh, for God's sakes. Thank you. Okay, so here we'll do Composer, create project, Laravel. I think you don't even need the 8.0. I don't think you need that at all. And then we're going to call it FACM. So now this will install everything that's... What happened? All right, and then wait, what was it? Let's get rid of this. There we go. All right, so that's pretty much it. So it's going to install everything. Thanks for nothing, you schmuck. So it's going to install everything, and now this is going to be pretty much null and void, but I'm going to keep it just in case. So we're going to install everything here with this, and it'll take a little bit of time. It's not going to take too long. I've got a really fast computer. So once everything's installed, we'll put it in this project. We'll set it up. Okay, and now we're going to go into FACM because we're going to need that prompt, that terminal. So now we're going to add folder, and we're going to go to htdocs. We're going to go to FACM. And now you're going to look, and you're going to see all these files. So all these files, they're ready for you to go. Now all we have to do is go to env. We're going to use MySQL, so of course this is going to be FACM, root, no password. So you can hack into that if you want. Save that. We're not going to do any emails right now or anything. We'll do that later. I know I've said that before. And just for the sake of... Yeah, whatever with you. Just for the sake of making sure that we're in the right time zone, and also you want to change this to FACM, just so that when you look at any kind of app names or whatever, it's just gonna that global variable will come up as FACM. I mean, we're gonna make our own layouts and what have you, and this is in development, so we'll just go like this. Get rid of that, so we get all those weird development errors and everything like that. And when you go to your time zone, it says UTC. If you're in New York like I am, it's this. And there you go. And we're all set. So now that's all set up. So now when you want to actually see your project, we go to this, And the command is php artisan serve. So now we go to this, and this is our new project. You'll have this because it's reading off of, let's go to the web. So pretty much, okay, we're gonna go through all this right now. So everything that you're gonna be working on more or less is in the app folder. Console, we're not gonna touch. Exceptions, we're not gonna touch. HTTP controllers, we have our base controller here, and as you can see, it already has all these things installed. We have middleware if we wanted to authenticate, and we're gonna do that. I'm gonna show you just how easy everything is. Verify CSRF. CSRF is easy. We have our models. We have one model already as user. We're gonna change this up a little bit. Providers, we have all this stuff. App service provider, register, boot, everything just getting us off. Everything is there so that we all know what we have already installed straight up. You have caches, you have everything that you need, config as we just saw. One thing I want to show you as well is we're not really going to touch anything here. I mean, database, I think we're okay, right? I mean, I may have to change this, but I'm not sure. We'll do it anyway. And we'll go like this, and we're all set with that. This is for when we make our migrations, and we'll go through all that in just a bit. I want to just kind of go through everything with you. But the one thing that I do want to go through, database, user factory, migrations, which we've already done. See, whenever you set up a project, it will automatically have this migration. And what we will do is we will then integrate that into our table. So now that I'm saying that, let's go to databases. We already have this here. Let's just drop it. Actually, let's go back. Let's drop it. So we'll get rid of that and we'll make a new one and we'll just call it Factum again. And we'll create it. Okay. So now we're not going to put anything in here. We're going to leave it as it is. We'll let the migrations take care of it. But so you have this and you have the create personal access tokens, all this other stuff. But the one thing I do want to go through, and there's of course your public file. This is where we're going to put, resources, CSS, JavaScript. But we're going to make files and everything like that later when we start getting into. I'm just going to set everything up for you at this point. And of course, our routes, web. But there's one thing I want to show you. What Laravel has, amongst many other things, is they have validation. And let me see, where can I find that? I know where it is. I haven't used it in a while, but it's not online. It's not public. Let me see. Well, I'll look at it later. But anyway, we have validations, and what we can do is we can sort of change global error messages so that we don't have to keep typing in error messages. If you watch my Codeigniter project, you'll notice that there are a lot of similarities between Laravel and Codeigniter. It's just that Laravel takes it steps forward. So it makes it a lot easier. But the one thing that we want to do at first is we want to go to our routes when we go to our web. And as you can see, it's going to return the view welcome. We don't want it to return that view. We want it to return our view, but we don't have a controller right now. So I'm just going to kind of do this for now. I'm going to go landing.index. So this way we don't need a controller. And then we're going to take this to our views, which are here. And we're going to make a new folder. We're going to call landing. And everything in Codeigniter is a blade. So it's an index. So every one of your views is a blade. And at that point, I'm just going to put in there, you know, H1, thank you. So now, when we refresh, we have that. See, so it's just that easy. But again, we're going to start making controllers and everything like that. As of now, I just want to kind of go through a couple of things here, and well, maybe we'll do this later because we're probably running late. I'm going to kind of keep these videos short, and I can keep these videos short because of the fact that Laravel makes things that easily. But I want to just kind of change this. I don't want my users table to look like this. We're going to keep email in there, that's fine. But I don't want name. I want this to be username. And let's see, username, email, and of course password is there. Email verified we don't need. So username, password, what else we got? Email. I think that'll be all we really need. We'll just save that. And then when we go back to the model, we are going to change this to username. So if you notice, these models are pretty much pre-made for us as it is. We do actually make our own models, and we will. But you notice the variable, the protected variable fillable, you've probably seen that with Codeigniter. That just tells you, or tells the computer, what they can fill out and what they can't. So this automatically, whenever you enter in any kind of data into the database, it automatically gives you a timestamp. So you don't have to worry about timestamps, you don't have to worry about anything. Everything is already set. We just got to tell the framework what variables we will be able to allow the user to use when they enter in specific data. But as you can see, ready to go more or less. We're going to make some more models. I want to prep before we get into it because of the fact that it just makes things a lot cleaner. So let's kind of really consider what we want to do here. So we want to make the form, we have the users already. We want the users to have a profile. So a form is more or less a general topic. From that topic comes the first entry, and then from the first entry comes the responses to that entry. So that's what we really want to take care of now. We want to put that in there. So let's see if we can do that quick. So let's go to the terminal. And whenever you want to do anything in Laravel, it's artisan in the terminal, and then we're going to make model, and we're going to do I want to call it info? I always call it info. We're going to call, actually, yeah, I'm going to call it info. And then we're going to do a -m because we want the framework to make us a migration automatically so we don't have to type all this by ourselves. So it's going to do that. So now we have create info, and with info we want to do table. We want to make a first name. We want to do, we want to do, what is it again? See, I already forgot. String, that's what it is, string. String, and first name. And what I would also suggest, and we're going to get into relationships, is also do unsigned big integer user ID. And we're going to do first name, and we're going to say it's nullable. Put that in there. We're going to do table string last name. We're also going to make that nullable. And the reason why we're going to make everything nullable is so that we can load it up automatically, and we'll get into that as well. String, and we'll do location. And we'll make that nullable. Just simple, nothing major. And then, of course, table string pick. I'll make that nullable. And then what we also want to do, if you can spell nullable correctly, what we also want to do with this is we want to tell it that there is going to be an index, and that is user ID. Now let me just make sure that, I think that's it, right? And let me just double check something here. Let me go back to my notes here. I should be better prepared, I'm sorry. Let me go over models, let me just go to, actually, no, wait, wrong thing. That's database, migrations, info. Yeah, index, yeah, that's all we need. Just double checking myself. So then we're going to save that. Now, if you notice the naming convention, it pluralizes all of your models. Just make your models themselves singular. This naming convention is important in Laravel. Make your models singular. Otherwise, the migrations are going to name them like infozos with 2 S's. So you don't want that. And then we're also going to make a PHP artisan make model. And we want to do the form itself with the migration. So now there you have it. Form, and with form, we're going to just basically, we're not really going to tie any kind of, should I? No, we're not going to tie any user to it. It's going to be its own thing. So with the form, we're going to have a string of, actually there's not really going to be anything with this. It's just going to be title. And I think I still want to put in a user ID, but I don't really think we're going to kind of connect it. And I think that's pretty much it, right? The title. Is that what I did last time? I think that was all I did last time. Let me just double check. Yeah, that was better. So we'll just do that again. So we'll just do that. And again, I'm not going to put an index because we'll put it in there, but we don't really need to. That's what she said. And now we're going to do PHP artisan again, and we're going to make another model. And this one will be, so you have the general title of the form, and now you want to get the discussion. So we're going to say how we're going to discuss. And we'll do an M. Then we're going to go to the discussion. This one, yes. This one we're going to do table unsigned big integer, and we're going to do form ID. And we're going to do table unsigned big integer. And you're going to do user ID. Again, we're going to get deeper into this as we move along. And then we're going to do table text body. And that cannot be nullable. And then we're going to go table index form ID and table index user ID. Now we're going to save that. And one more, PHP artisan, if we figure anything else out. And we're going to say response. If we need anything more, we'll just do it later on. And down there. So now this one too, this will be table unsigned discussion ID, table unsigned user ID, table text. And we'll say, no, we'll just say body again. And that's pretty much all we'll need with that. See, again, like I said, simple. Discussion ID. User ID. So now, if everything works, what you want to do then is you want to go PHP artisan migrate. Spell artisan right. And hold your breath. And it all worked out well. So now if we go here, look at that. Look at all these tables we just made with a couple of commands, and that's it. So we have now the actual tables. We have the database ready. So when I return, we're going to do something with everything. So we'll do that in just a second.